From London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping to kickstart your day with the motivation and inspiration you need 365 days a year. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Good morning! How are you doing on this fabulously fine day? Monday is once again upon us. It's the start of a new week. New horizons! My name is Chris Jaggs and this is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. Back again for another Motivational Monday episode. Trying to help you get yourself rolling out of bed and start your day the right way. This is episode 36. And we have just started July 2020. How'd this happen? The past few months, they really have just been a blur, haven't they? Can I ask you, have you ever failed? Be honest with yourself, it's absolutely fine if you have. If you have failed at some point, well, it means you've been trying. You tried something and it might not have worked, but hey, at least you tried. For the episode this week, I want to take a look at failure. And while a lot of people get an instant negative feeling of that one word, it is actually a good word, a great word, and one that can help put you on the path to greatness. You know, that little path you're looking for. Yellow brick road? Before we get going, my calendar. You know the one. I've pretty much gone about it every single day. But it's because I want you to start on your path to greatness. If you go to ldlcool.com, and you can book your slot. Your desired choice of a slot. Book your free 30-minute LDL call. 30 minutes dedicated to you. We'll throw some ideas around about what you really want to do, or if you've got an issue, something that you want to change in your life. I'm here for you. Let's see what we can do. But, there's always a but. You have to make the first move and book that call. I'm ready for you. Come on! Let's get going. Also, on a personal note, I was very privileged to feature on the 100th episode of Entrepreneurs Get Visible. They had the 100th podcast last week. Entrepreneurs Get Visible is a very respected podcast for entrepreneurs and other people that want to make positive change. And a few weeks ago, there was a chance to, record something and get a mention on that particular episode about the effect the podcast had on me. And I was surprised and privileged to be featured for those whopping 2 minutes and 17 seconds that I sent in. The podcast is by Anna Parker Naples, who is a best-selling author, coach, and podcast guru. So have a listen to that if you can. And finally, before we get to the drop, it's my time to say thank you. Thank you to those incredible souls who have taken the time to send a review for the podcast. Our first is from a fellow podcaster, Tina Marie Steensteff. And I really hope I said that right. This is the best way to start a morning. Short, sweet, and motivational. The energy is great, and you most definitely have a subscriber in me. It's like hanging out with a friend. Thanks, Tina. A huge thanks to you. And let's give your podcast a shout out too. The Psychedelic podcast. Have a look out for that one. Pretty good. The next review was from the middle of last month, although Chartable, the website that tells me I have brand new reviews, only told me this week. And it's from Should You Say That? From over in Australia. G'day. The review says, just stumbled upon this podcast. I'm glad I did. Filled with lots of insight and tips and tricks on how to stay positive in this crazy life. Well worth a listen. Again, huge thank you. You are officially my first review from over on the Australian page. I thank you. And if you want to add a 5-star review, please do. I'll give you a mention on a future show. Now, the drop. Let's have that and let's get this going.
The Learn, Develop, Live podcast. Picking you up when that cup of coffee isn't doing its job.
I can't listen to your crap before my coffee.
So, failure. An instant negative viable word, wouldn't you agree? But why is that? Why? As I've said previously, it's taught in school that failure is a bad thing. You can't get things wrong. You'll get in trouble. And with that implanted in your brain from an early age, Why would you think any differently when you grow up to be an adult in the big wide world? Now, before I face some sort of backlash, if children are taught differently in schools now, that failure isn't such a bad thing, that's great. Thank you. Maybe we can have some words from you to tell us how it is now different and how you use failure. Failure is not the alternative to success. It's only a temporary setback on a bigger, more significant course. Everybody encounters failure at one point or another. I know I have. What truly matters is how you react to it and learn from that failure. A quote from Batman Begins always comes to mind. Why do we fall, sir? So we can learn to pick ourselves back up again. A very true statement, wouldn't you agree? Another story I remember hearing about was a family at a dinner table, a father and 3 kids. Every evening meal, they would sit down together and eat. He would ask each one, what did you fail at today? The question isn't one that you hear often, but those kids, they won't see the thing of failure as such a bad thing, but part of the learning process. Failure is to be celebrated. It's a discovery of another way that something just doesn't work. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before he finally got the light bulb working. Now, originally, this episode was going to be a continuation of the ongoing series, People Who Didn't Quit. But when you do the research, you can run out of the biggest players in the game of life who did actually fail on their road to success. So instead, I've got 2 that I found that I've not seen before, and let's just spend the rest of it talking about how to make failure work for you. So our first contestant this week is Ariana Huffington, who, as you might be able to tell from the surname, is the creator of the Huffington Post. Things haven't been that simple though for Huffington Post, but look at where it is today. It's hard to believe that one of the most recognisable names in online publications was once rejected by 3 dozen major publishers. Huffington's second book, which she tried to publish long before she created, what is now known as the world-renowned Huffington Post empire, was actually rejected 36 times before it was actually accepted for publication. Even Huffington Post itself wasn't a success straight away. In fact, when it launched, there was dozens of highly negative reviews about its quality and its potential. Obviously though, Huffington overcame those initial bouts of failure and has cemented her name as one of the most successful outlets on the web. Now, can we talk chocolate? Come on. Everyone knows Hershey's chocolate, but when Milton Hershey first started his candy production career, he was a nobody. After being fired from an apprenticeship with a printer, Hershey started 3 separate candy-related ventures and was forced to watch them all fail. In one last attempt, Hershey founded the Lancaster Caramel Company and started seeing enormous results. Believing in his vision for milk chocolate for the masses, he eventually founded the Hershey Company and became one of the most well-known names in the industry. Could that be you? Could you and your idea be the next big thing? Think about that. So, what is the key to making failure work for you? Now, this takes many forms depending on the person. Someone who is used to the odd failure will take it a lot better than someone who's just starting out. It's all about mindset. If you allow unwelcome failure, you'll be able to deal with it a lot better. In a way, if you expect it, when it does arrive, because it will at some point, you'll be more prepared for it. Failure teaches self-confidence, but there are people who fail and take it very, very personally, and that makes it hard to recover from it. We tell people, don't take it so personally. Failure is actually great. Honestly, it is. But how do we bounce back? Look to eliminate the blame. As we said earlier, as children, we often learn to associate failure with blame. Now, most entrepreneurs are either intense perfectionists or free spirits who never fit the mould. Both types are quick to blame themselves when things go wrong, which can actually cause significant emotional distress. For those of you who aren't entrepreneurs, when you fail, sadly, that one failure is more often the end of whatever it was you were trying to do. Full stop, game over. There'll be no desire to try that something again. Taking what you've learned from it and then giving it another shot. And this is why failure will win. But you don't need to let it. Why should you? You don't owe anything, do you? Did you know you could fail small? It's possible to try some small risk and fail small. If you think of a stand-up comedian, it's well publicised that comedians will try new jokes at small venues. If you spent months writing a ton of gags, You kind of want to know what works with the audience before maybe you've got like an hour-long set or a TV special. By using the audience reactions, that helps cut the gags that were probably funny at 2 a.m. one Tuesday morning when you were writing it, but in actual fact, it's not really funny at all. This is failing small. You can examine what you've learned. It seems the business world is becoming more comfortable with failure. Failure is often a springboard to success. What exactly went wrong, and why do you think it did? No matter how big or small, everyone needs to learn from their mistakes. Committing to improvement, no matter how bad the mistake may sting, allows you to make progress and build up resilience. How would you have done it differently? Try and maintain some perspective out there. Treat your life like a game or a martial art. Your mission is to figure out how to get around those challenges to get to your goals. In process of playing the game or practicing this martial art, you'll become more skilled. As you get better, you'll progress to a higher level of the game that you require and teach you greater skills. Ta-da! Know one trustworthy person that you can completely be honest with and reveal your insecurities to. By having one person to disclose your concerns to, who will not shame you or make you feel any less, you can get back up from the setup and be accountable. Remaining positive. Double check that you're not constantly playing the victim. When things go wrong, do not adopt a defeatist mindset, but an optimistic one instead. Cut your losses. Intelligent people cut their losses by staying positive and minimizing their mistakes. They do not stick to the bad decisions. Again, whatever the size of the situation, sometimes it's just better to move on. Right, I'm going to wrap this episode up. Failure is not your enemy, but part of the process to greatness. And whatever challenge you're facing, if it goes wrong, remember, it's just a hiccup on your way to your success. Your best days are well and truly still ahead of you. So until next time, please book your slot on the calendar. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at learndeveloplive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. Motivation.